Well, hello, and how are you doing this evening? I hope wherever you are in this world right now that your mind is at ease, your mind is at ease, your soul is at peace, and you're feeling great. I'm a little tired this evening. I had a long work day, a few troublesome complications, but nothing to get excited about. The This is something I rarely ever say, living in Canada's capital. Um, the air is very bad today. We have smoke warnings from wildfires burning throughout eastern Ontario, northern Ontario, western Quebec. So the air quality index is the poorest I've ever seen it in this city. Normally it's some of the best in the world, but that is not the case today. So I have been indoors the entire day, and I'm thankful for that. I do have to venture to the office tomorrow, though, so hopefully the air won't be too bad by the morning, but we'll see. If it cools down tonight, it might clear out. Time will tell. But that's kind of besides the point of what we're here to chat about this evening. I found I had a very busy weekend, a very weekend filled with, well, allergies, to say the least, which made for and not the greatest not the greatest of feelings, when your eyes are itchy and watery and you're sneezing constantly. It's just not very pleasant. But I'd like to think that we're past that point of the springtime and we're getting into the warm weather now where we don't have to worry about those things anymore. At least I hope, anyway. This weekend was very busy. Friday went to a barbecue with my lady friend Bridget, and yes, I have a girlfriend. For those of you who weren't well aware, who are now. One second. She's actually seated on the couch right over there, but she's not going to come on camera. Yeah, so Friday we went to a barbecue, which was a lot of fun, and then Saturday I was up early, and we had breakfast on her back deck, and then I came home to take care of some business because I had some recording sessions booked, and got some distressing news that kind of upset me, but nothing I couldn't deal with. I'm not going to get into it because it has to do with some business stuff that was a little troublesome, but some things are just beyond your control sometimes, and this was one of those situations. So you deal with it and you move on. And we went to a Rib Fest, which was a lot of fun. And then, what did I do? I don't even remember what I did on Saturday night. Well, very tired. I did something. Oh, I remember what I did now. I went to the soccer match. There was a soccer game that took place. That's right. Wow. See what happens. You get a little bit older and you start forgetting things. So I went to a soccer match. My buddy who has season tickets took me as a guest. And then I met with Bridget afterwards and we went for a drink at a lovely restaurant at Lansdowne. And, it was a wonderful weekend. Very busy, though. Very, very busy, which I'm okay with. Busy's good. But I found myself towards the end of the day yesterday feeling a little empty, I guess. I had a few recording sessions booked yesterday morning, and they both had to cancel, which, life gets in the way sometimes. I understand that. So that kind of put me into a minor tailspin because then it was like, okay, I'll take care of some other things. And then it's like, I went for a walk to get some, fresh air and enjoy some sunshine, pick up some groceries. And when I got home, it was like, I need to lie down because pollen, allergies, that old chestnut. So I wasn't feeling 100%. So I took a nap, and then my buddy called me and he says, "Why don't you come on over for a porch pint?" I said, "Well, tell you what, I'll swing by, but I'm not going to have anything to drink." Because I didn't have time to go to the store to pick anything up. So I had a an Arizona iced tea with ginseng and honey. And yeah, sat on the porch for a bit while I slowly woke up because after a antihistamine-induced nap, I was a little groggy to say the least. So then I went for a beer with a friend of mine, came home, had some dinner, and had a relaxing evening and tried to just clear my head and think about how good the weekend was and not concentrate on the bad stuff. And sometimes, it's not like there's a lot of bad stuff, to be honest. There really isn't, but I find sometimes in the quiet times when I've not gotten enough sleep is when the anxiety creeps in, and that's when you start to have those anxious thoughts about coulda, shoulda, woulda, that could have happened, and this may have happened, but none of those bad things happened. Nothing bad happened. Everything that happened was good. Everything that is happening is good, but the terrible liar that anxiety is will have you convinced otherwise. And well, let's just say, that's never fun now, is it? Sorry, needed some water to quench my thirst. My throat is a little dry. So, yeah, I found myself feeling those old feelings of, I wouldn't say despair, but the anxiety, the sort of emptiness, worthless feeling that one gets when one is extremely fatigued and when everything else has been taken care of. You're alone with your thoughts. Sometimes those thoughts come creeping in. I wish I could control them. I can't. It's just not possible. But I did take some time to meditate and do some breathing exercises as we've often done here on this channel, and it really helped me. I had to clear my throat. So I've been asked to do some whisper content, and I will provide you with a couple of minutes of the whisper because I understand that it is very relaxing to a great number of people, and quite frankly, it's the whole point of this, is to talk about our mental health, how we're feeling, and try and find ways to relax and center ourselves and feel better at the end of a long Monday. Monday tends to be the longest day of the week, doesn't it? I mean, it's usually not an excessively long work day, but it feels like it because it's right after the weekend. And I find in the summertime it feels like it even more so. I think because oftentimes in the summer, although maybe we're not technically as busy as we are in the winter, because in the winter I do a lot of winter sports. In the summer, I'm out a lot, but I'm not necessarily doing many athletic things per se, riding on the bikes. So riding, walking, nothing too extreme anymore. I used to do competitive dragon boating, but I tore the shoulder back in 2017, and I decided I could never, ever go through that again because it was the worst physical pain of my life. And I don't ever want to experience that ever again as long as I live, because it's just simply too much to me. It was, psychologically speaking, there were many days when I would just think to myself, just take me away, because the pain was so intense, and it never let up. It was 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 6 weeks straight. It was horrible. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. And I hope you never experience that. 1 second. So, let's whisper for a little bit, shall we? Because I understand that this is very relaxing for a number of people. And I find that I can do this for a few minutes, but not too long, because it tends to hurt my throat a little bit. But if you can find a few moments to sit back and relax and just listen, this may help you to find that peaceful place. If I whisper too low, though, the compressor will cut me off. off, so I need to get very close to the microphone to do it. The reason I have the compressor turned so high is so that I won't have, it's the noise gate, effectively. I turn it high so that I don't hear background noise, because I haven't finished constructing my soundproof booth, and I kind of like how the background looks with the pink lights too, right? Kind of a quiet, groovy feeling, which is what I want. I want to give you a calming, peaceful sense of well-being. At least that's my goal. So remember, you need to take deep, cleansing breaths. Take 5 seconds in, hold for 7, and then exhale for as long as you can. There actually is a rule. What is it? 3-5-7, I think, or 5-3-7, I can't remember. But you will find something that works well for you, because not all the rules always fully work well for everybody when it comes to meditation or calming or relaxing breathing techniques. You need to experiment to find out what works best for you. And only you know that by trying different methods. So, now that we're back, and I can speak in a neutral tone, I find this is a little bit easier. The whisper tone is a little hard on my throat, so I tend not to do it for too long, but I understand a couple of minutes can be helpful for the folks who do appreciate it. And I hope that you're all doing well. And I suppose you may have noticed that my beard has been trimmed a little bit. There's a reason for that. Oops, a little bit of feedback. My headphones got too close to the mic. I apologize for that. The reason I've done that is it's for a charity thing. I'll put a link in the chat here. You're under no obligation to donate to them. It's a local charity, a local women's shelter that I've been trying to raise money for when I can, because they do a lot of very good work in my community, and they've had a hard couple of years. So the idea is each day I shave it in a different style, and the goal is to have somebody, people just contribute. So for today's style, this was $100, and tomorrow I will shave here right down to the wood, so I'll have mutton chops for a day. The next day I'll have just sideburns. The day after that I'm going to have long handlebars and a little soul patch. And then on Friday I'll have a very long Salvador Dali mustache for a full week. And I've already actually, I said, if I'm going to do it for a full week, I'm looking to raise $500 for that particular style. And a friend of mine said, yeah, no problem, I got you. And he already did it. He already donated $500. So the goal was to try and raise $1,000, and I think we're somewhere near that right now. I'll have to check in. But anyway, I just thought I'd let you know that's why my beard looks so different. Next Monday, I will have a big mustache, and that will be for a week. So 5 days I'll look silly with a giant Salvador Dali. It'll be way out. I'll wax it the whole bit for a little bit of fun. And even though I look silly, I'm fine with it, because it's money for a very good cause, for a very worthwhile cause, for one that is near and dear to my heart. Because, like I said, they, without getting into it, they had a rough couple of years. And I'll kind of leave it at that. 1 second. So that's the whole point of growing the beard and then shaving it, was to try and raise money. Now it does two things. I mean, I look awesome and everything, right? But moreover, a beard is quite warm in the winter, and we had a mild winter, so it was kind of cool. But cool, warm. You know what I'm trying to get at. I don't think I'll grow it next year, though. We'll see. Take the summer off. June, July, August, June and July I'll be beard free for sure. This one I started growing last August, so 10 months to get to 10 months to get to this length. So what's that? I don't know, 4 or 5 inches, something. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So take her down to the wood tomorrow for a new style. And if you watch the political show, which again, I can't stress this enough. This channel, this show, will never be political, and it is open to anyone who wants to come in and discuss their mental health. Because everybody is affected by mental health issues at some point in their life, whether it's directly or indirectly, whether it's through a friend, a parent, a loved one, a family member, who knows? Everybody will be affected by mental health at some point in time. So, no matter your political stripe, your religious views, or your beliefs, this is a space where you can come and talk to me in the chat or just listen to what I have to say. Give me any feedback if you like. That's entirely up to you. But this is a political, religious-free zone where we only discuss our mental health and methods and how we can improve it and improve ourselves in the process. And that's what this space will always be. I don't want it to ever be anything other than that. There's enough division in this world. And I think this is a place where we can try and unite people. And if we have the same common ground, and the common ground being we're all concerned about helping our community, our friends, our loved ones, our family members, our colleagues, somebody you know that has experienced a mental health issue, or perhaps yourself. Because at the end of the day, we're all humans. And I think everybody deserves an opportunity to heal themselves. And that's about all I've got to say about that, really. This space is meant to be a place to discuss your mental health. Yeah, I know 2024 is going to be difficult for you. I get it. It's we've got 2025 where there could be some difficulties here. I'm hoping that's not the case, but I can understand. Hopefully things will smooth out for you, brother. I don't know what to say about that. Again, I don't wade into the weeds in the politics on this channel. I have a separate channel for that altogether. And you can find it on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, multiple places. Our YouTube is offline for 7 days. That's all I have to say. So if you are somewhere in Canada or perhaps northern United States, northern New York perhaps, you may be affected by the smoke from the forest fires. So try and keep your animals indoors if you can. If you're a farmer, I wish you all the best, because I don't know what to tell you about that. But I think you'd want to stay indoors as much as possible for the next couple of days, because the air quality index is bad. The smoke is terrible. And I would imagine that tomorrow morning I'll be able to smell the burning wood. A number of years ago, we had a similar incident like this, and it all blew down into the city, and the skies were sort of a brownish, orangish color, and you could smell burning wood for days. I don't know how long this will go on for. Hopefully they can get the fires put out soon, but a lot of people are suffering right now, and I'll be loading up on antihistamines, I can tell you that. Because, suffering while breathing is never pleasant now, is it? Nobody wants to suffer when they're breathing. Breathing is supposed to be an autonomic system. You just do it and not worry about it. So if you already have, perhaps, if you suffer from allergies, or you have asthma, or maybe COPD, or emphysema, or mesothelioma, or lung cancer, which are all horrible things, this does not help. So environmental factors, pollen, smoke, lack of sleep, creates an anxious mixture. When that anxiety comes out and rears its ugly head and lies to you constantly, I have to say, knock on wood, I have been fortunate lately where my depression has been pretty much at bay for the last couple of weeks. I think you know what, I can't remember the last time I had a really dark moment. I had a little bit of despair yesterday, but not a dark moment, and it was mostly anxiety. Whereas, for the most part, the last few weeks, I'd say I've been feeling pretty good. There's difficulties here and there, but I find more than anything else, the depression has really been kept at bay. The anxiety is another story that rears its ugly head whenever it feels like it. And that's difficult. And I know it's difficult for you because I have to live with it. So if I'm living through it, I know what it's like to be there. I know what it's like to live in that environment. It's not pleasant. It's just feeling like you're in constant turmoil and your heart is racing and you're trying to look normal because, well, especially if you're of my generation where we didn't admit to such things. We do now, thankfully. And I think a lot of lives have been saved because it's okay to talk about it now. It should have always been okay to talk about it. But when I tried to discuss my depression back in the late 90s, I was not met with people willing to listen to me. It was a different time, and I blame no one. They didn't understand, and I tried to explain it, but they didn't get that it was a medical issue. They thought it was just, oh, you're feeling sad? That was never the case. And because I couldn't get anybody to understand what the depression was like, I never discussed my anxiety. Because that's the one I hid the most. Because it really does. It affects you in so many ways. It affects you physically as well as emotionally. To the point where, you're not sleeping and try to sleep, you can't sleep, but you think you need to sleep, but you know you have to sleep, but you can't sleep. But if I don't get some sleep, oh my God, what's going to happen to me? And now I can't sleep because my mind... That's anxiety. Somebody described that to me once like, well, that's what like doing cocaine is like. I'm like, well, then why would you do that? Why would anybody want to subject themselves to that sort of stimulus? I don't know what to call it. I mean, it's horrible. It's terrible. It's the worst possible thing. And people do it intentionally? I don't understand it. Hey, look, I like wine and whiskey and beer. Maybe you like weed or whatever. I don't judge. I just question why anybody would want to purposely feel that way. Isn't 4 cups of coffee enough? And anyway, no judgment. We all have our crutches, and we all need things to cope because sometimes we can't take the time that we need to really center ourselves, clear our minds, and get through the day. That's why I only do this once a week, because I'm too busy to be able to do it every day. That, and I think you'd get a little sick of me if I was on 7 days a week, wouldn't you? I think once a week is good enough. Occasionally, though, if I'm in crisis, I will go live at the last minute. Unannounced, I just hop on and discuss what I'm going through. I've done it in the past, and I can guarantee you I will do it again in the future when it happens. And I'm, if I'm sitting here at home in the evening and I'm going through crisis, I'll jump online and let you know that I am fighting an uphill battle, because I think it's important that people see what you're going through when you're going through it. There have been times in the last few weeks where I've had a bit of a crisis just before going live and said, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to. I'm like, no, Paul, if you do it, work through it and you'll feel better. And that's the case. I always feel better after this because this is calming and soothing for me too. Because I am able to openly discuss what I'm feeling, thinking, and going through. So if it helps me, I certainly hope that it helps you too. I don't know that it does. A few people have told me it's been helpful to them. I think one of the things that I've been told by a few friends that this has helped them to understand what it's like to go through anxiety and depression. And all I can think is, well, you're very lucky to have never have to personally experience either one of those things because they're both pretty horrible. So if I can help anybody anywhere at any time by expressing this so that they can have a better understanding of what a friend or a family member, a colleague, a loved one, a partner, somebody in their life is going through, if I can help somebody who's going through something just by simply saying, hey, I'm here. I know what it's like. I can understand and empathize because I've lived it more times than I care to mention. And I'll live it again because living is victory. And I will always win. The beast sometimes will rear its ugly head, and there's not a lot you can do about it, but I intend to always fight back, be triumphant. And I will be here for you. So with that, my friends, I shall take my leave. I'm going to relax with my lovely lady. We're going to watch a movie and just chill out, as one does. So until we meet again, which would be this time next Monday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on this YouTube channel, I'll see you then. You take care. Bye.